What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Hit that subscribe button and go ahead and I hope you like this video. This is gonna be your review of T.I. and Tiny Friends and Family Hustle, season 1, episode 2. So look, let's just go down the line and let's talk about what's up and who's who, and what's going on. So we have on the T.I. and Tiny side. Look, Tiny was so moved by Pastor John Gray last week that she wants to go to church and she wants T.I. to go to church with her. T.I. don't even seem like he believe in God. He talking about that religion was put here to control the sheep, and that black women scorned black women. And I'm glad you acknowledge the fact that your wife is a scorned woman. But scorned black women are easy prey for the pastors because they know they can get them to coming to the church and give up their money. And Tiny is like, look, I just think that we need something. This is what we need. Y'all let me know how that work out, because I don't think T.I. is crossing nobody's threshold or nobody's church unless it's an occasion. You know what I'm saying? A happy or a sad one. And then he's buying her more gifts. He really truly feels like, I fuck up, I buy a gift, we move on. Because later on in the episode, I think he's talking to Toya, and she's talking about him messing up, the whole infidelity piece. And he was like, but I bought her a car. And she was like, ugh. Like, you buying a car does not negate that she has to learn how to trust you again, and she has to build up to that. And what he said, which I think is true, he said it's been dirt on both sides, and I believe that it's probably. I don't believe that Tiny is no angel, but I do believe that Tiny is probably reactionary. She's probably reacting to how she's being treated and reacting to what you're doing to her. I'm not justifying that infidelity is infidelity, but I don't think that Tiny's level of infidelity is the same as T.I.'s level of infidelity. Because, see, T.I.'s one of them double standard mofos. Where it's cool for him to go out here and sleep with every stripper, every Instagram hoe, every thought. But let Tiny look at a dude too long, and T.I. be giving her the side eye and probably would be like, nope, I ain't coming back ever again. It's a wrap. Now, I could be wrong about that, but that's just the kind of dude that T.I. comes off to me. I could be wrong, though. So the other thing, and I just did a whole video on this, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it. His oldest son it's time for him to start choosing schools, and he's trying to decide whether he wants to go to a HBCU, a historical black college or university, or a PWI, predominantly white institution. He decides on a PWI, and I just did a whole video on that, so I ain't gonna spend a whole lot of time in this video on it. We'll get back to T.I. and Tiny because it's their show, so of course their situation is all through this show. We see with Monica and Toya, they're having lunch, they're catching up, and they are really good friends. They go way back to they said they've known each other since they were like 14 with Destiny's Child, before Destiny's Child was Destiny's Child, and when Monica was just getting herself, getting her foot in the door and getting herself together. And they just talking. She said, she's glad to be back in the same city as Monica. They're really good friends. And she was talking, and we find out that her husband is traveling back and forth between Atlanta and Dallas because he has a daughter, and he has, I guess, joint custody or shared custody or something, but he sees his daughter regularly, and his daughter is very much a part of their life. And so her husband is flying back and forth. And she said that on one of the trips to Dallas, she started having pains. She went to the emergency room, come to find out she was in labor. And she had to stay overnight at the hospital. They had to run a lot of tests. And basically what they had told her was, if the baby starts to come at this point, there's really not a lot we can do. And so she was facing losing the baby. And come to find out, her husband left her at the hospital because he had to go pick up his daughter. Now, it was something that really bothered her. But she said she didn't know how to talk to him about it because she didn't want to rock the boat. She didn't want to seem, she didn't want to be a nagging wife or what have you. But everybody was telling her, you need to let him know how you feel. You need to be honest with him because, there's a conversation with her later on with her mother-in-law and her father-in-law. And it was great to see that she had such an easy relationship with them because she was very honest with them on how she was feeling. And the mother said, look, you need to let him know how you feel because men don't think like women think. And what's obvious to us or what seems like common sense to us, it just don't always hit me in that way. One of my favorite sayings is common sense ain't common, because common sense to me may not be common sense to you. And he came back to the hospital. He didn't leave her stranded. He came back to the hospital, but in that moment he had to go get his daughter, or it would cause another situation with the custody piece. She said she understood it, but it didn't change the way that it made her feel alone. She said, I've been alone my whole life. Like, I thought that was the purpose of getting married, is so that you didn't feel like you were alone. And I 100% understand that. Like, if I'm going to be by myself laid up in the hospital bed, hell, I could have done that on my own. I just could have inseminated myself and did this. And then we also found out that she has had a miscarriage in before. And so that's another reason why she's just all that more sensitive to what was going on with her and with her body. Thank God they ran the test. They stopped the pains. She's okay for now. I ain't gonna say for now. She's okay. But that was a big issue for her. And eventually she does end up having the conversation with him and letting him know how. Because the whole time I'm thinking, baby, you can't be married and walking around on eggshells. Like, you got to just be honest and be upfront. I mean, it's too late for that. Like, I've been like that in relationships where you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to make somebody mad. But hell, y'all done said the I do's, walk down the aisle, and y'all got something baking in the oven, honey. Them days is done. You better go on and get it out. So that was good, but we're just seeing that they're having some bumps and bruises in their young marriage. And remember, it was a whirlwind romance. They didn't know each other that well, and they hadn't worked all this out. And then for them to get married and to be pregnant so soon after marriage, it's a lot. It's a lot for them to try to, adjust to. But they look like they in it to win it. And so, I'm here for them. I'm here for them. Then we see little Miss Eris is becoming just that, an heiress. She's starting her own kids' fingernail polish line, honey. And she had herself a launch party and everything. And I ain't mad at her. See, that's how you build generational wealth. You understand what I'm saying? Chris Rock has a famous joke about being rich versus wealthy. And T.I. and Tiny are rich. They're trying to create wealth, and they're trying to build wealth for their children. They've been doing it. If you look at the Family Hustle, they always try to encourage their kids to find their own voice, get into their own thing, whether it's been rapping, whether it's been acting, and all that type of stuff. And for the baby's always liked fingernail polish. So Tiny said, you know what? She always liked fingernail polish, and I would post her pictures on Instagram, and everybody thought it was cute. So I said, well, you know what? Why not? So baby girl had a launch party and everything. You hear me? And I ain't mad at her. She fell asleep at her own launch party because she was tired. But I ain't mad at her. So T.I. comes over to pick up the baby. That's how I got on that. And their anniversary is coming up. And he says to her, well, I got to go to Trinidad later on this month. Why don't you come on, if you want to come on down, you come on down with me. She was like, I mean, when you ask like that. He said, now see, I was trying to be nice, but then later on this month, when you by yourself, don't say nothing. She was like, what kind of... He's like, you don't know what later on this month is? She was like, I know what it is. Like, I've spent my anniversary by myself before. Oh, you have? Or what you trying to say? And like, he was like, well, whatever then, the invitation's out there if you want it. Honey, that is not how you invite somebody to go away from you with you on their anniversary when y'all are estranged and y'all trying to get back together. Like, you gotta play the part. You gotta. And then later on he says, are you going or not? I mean, I ain't never had this hard of a time getting somebody on a private jet, getting a woman on a private jet. Again, that's probably not the joke you need to make when you in the doghouse for infidelity. Like, the only woman you need to be worried about getting on your private jet is your wife, and you need to just leave it at that. Hold on. Ooh, that heater was on my feet, honey. It was hot. So, I'm like, T.I., you just... And here's the thing. At the end of the day, this is just going to be their pattern. Like, Tiny ain't never really going to go nowhere. T.I., I don't think really going to go nowhere because he can have his cake and eat it too. Because he know... Now, this is the longest I think she's made him pay. But if he know that all he got to do is just hold out and hang on, that she'll be back. All right. I lost my train of thought, y'all. So, but anyway, T.I. is just, he just, Yeah, I like T.I., I really do. But T.I. just think, I just don't see what he gonna stop doing what he doing. And maybe as the season goes on, we'll see some. He'll come to some realization, and he'll have some epiphanies. A word that he would use, an epiphany. Um, we see Monica in the studio, and that song they was playing. Look, when that gonna be ready? Monica, Monica. Anybody who know Monica that's listening to the sound of my voice, let her know that I need that single in my life. Whatever that song was that was playing, I need it now. And I don't know what the rest of the album gonna sound like. I don't even care. But that song, honey, that little clip they gave us, everything. I need that. You know how at the end of the episode they be like, you can download it now. I was waiting for that to pop up, and I was like, why I can't download that song yet? Why it's not ready for me? Anyway, I told y'all I was a stan. But she's in the studio talking, and they basically talking about the album and giving. I think they need to do like a hot and cold version. Like she said, she wants to do some straight up like R&B ballads, like heartfelt. But then she also want to give you something to pop to. I think they could do both. Like, remember back in the day when we actually had like albums, do an A-side, B-side type situation. You know what I'm saying? Vinyl's back, boo. Give it to us. I know you're doing this on your dime. I know you're an independent artist right now, so that might not be in your budget. But I think you could give us like 8 up tempos, give us some little bops, and then like 8 ballads, or 4 and 4, or whatever the situation is. But you could give us both. I feel like you can. And then she went on to talk about how, that she just don't feel like she need to twerk, that ain't her thing. And I can respect that. I just got finished talking about that with the whole Love and Hip Hop video. Like, I can respect the fact that we don't always have to see women twerking. Like, hello. So that's what Monica is working on. Then we see Tiny and Toya talking. And basically, they recapping the whole T.I. situation. And, Tiny was saying, back in the day, me and him were inseparable. And he was really, truly my best friend. And I'm just not there yet. And I can't force it. And he thinks that throwing things at it, throwing gifts, throwing cars, throwing purses, whatever, is going to make me get there faster. And that's not going to make me get there faster. She was like, I think she wants to forgive him. I think she just can't really, really, truly let go of the fact that he may do it again. And the reality is he's probably going to do it again. Maybe, call me cynical, y'all. Call me what you want. Call me a skeptic. Yeah. Call me whatever, but I really think it's going to happen again. But, Toya goes to talk to T.I. and she tries to tell him basically all of the above. Look, throwing materialistic things at it ain't gonna fix the problem. You and Tiny used to be inseparable. I love both y'all. I want to see y'all work it out and get back together and fix it. And T.I. gives her the whole okie doke about, it's on her. I've tried. I've apologized. She got to figure it out. That whole whatever. But the whole rah-rah to it. But I'm like, come on now. Like, and the thing is this, you just have to earn that back. All you got to do is stay steadfast and stop fucking up. Like, you can't keep getting caught doing inappropriate things. That's going to push you, step you back even more. But you have to the person has to feel that you're sincere when there's infidelity. The person has to feel that you're sincere and that you're not going to do it again. And she just ain't there yet. And you have to understand that, T.I., that she ain't there yet. We see that LaToya talks to her husband and lets her know how he's feeling, and he apologizes, and he's like, look, I don't ever want you to feel like you're alone. I love you. I love our baby, but I was in a situation and I had to make a decision, and I apologize that it hit you that way and that it made you feel that way, because that was never my intention, But after having a conversation with Toya, T.I. comes back and but comes back and sort of asks Tiny a little bit better about going to Trinidad, and she agrees to go. So I'm sure that's going to be an episode with them down in Trinidad, and I'm sure he's going to pull out all the bells and whistles and all the stops to make, to make everything, make it romantic and sweet. So we'll see. Excuse me, y'all. But that was pretty much how this episode went down. Y'all let me know what y'all think. How y'all think it went down? Peace.